Hi guys, it's Maddie Simish and welcome to another video. In this one I'm building a little cabin in the mountains. It was a super fun build, this one, but also very experimental because in the 6 years since The Sims 4 came out, I'm pretty sure I've never done a build with terrain manipulation because I find it quite scary, to be honest. It's quite a daunting thing. I always sort of give it a go and it never quite looks good. I mean, you see some people do these absolutely amazing builds, you know, with different kind of heights in them, but I don't know, it just never looks good when I try it. So I thought, I know, I'll just make a whole build that is basically terrain manipulation. That will help me learn. So yeah, I did this cute little mountain sort of range. What I didn't actually realise is that you can't use terrain paint when you raise terrain down. And I started off this build in Brindleton Bay, and then I raised up the terrain and it was kind of like a dirt texture, like it was all brown and it just didn't look like mountains. So I googled it, and basically the colour of the terrain when you raise it up depends on the world that you're building in. So for example, in Oasis Springs it's kind of that yellowy, orangey, sandy texture. But like I said, I really wanted something that kind of looked mountainous, so I tried it in Windenburg, which is where this build ended up, and it's kind of that like rocky, stony texture that you can see, so I thought that was just a little bit more mountainous, so I was quite happy with that. And to be honest, actually, the background of Windenburg is very mountainous with lots of like pine trees and rocks and stuff, so it actually blended in really well to the background. So I was pretty happy that I did end up placing it here in Windenburg, and then I just kind of like finished off all the decorations with some kind of rocks and grass and flowers and stuff. I did try to make a path down to the bottom because obviously, you know, your sim needs to make it up to the house, but it took I tried many attempts, and when I went to play test it, they couldn't actually walk up the path, so I did have to use a teleporter. But I mean, it's not the most playable build. I just wanted one that looks cool, you know. I wanted that sort of spectacular, you know, you zoom out and you see the snow-capped mountains and the trees, and then that little like cabin just nestled in there. And I kind of zoomed out and I thought it looks okay, but it didn't have that kind of wow factor that I was looking for. So that's when I decided to make it kind of Christmas themed, because I put like lots of Christmas decorations on the outside, and it just looked really cute. And you know, when I went to take pictures, I kind of made it a snowy setting, like I made it in winter, and the snow was sort of covering the mountains and the trees and the rooftops, and yeah, it looked really, really cute. That was a bit more what I was imagining before I did this build. So, and then when I did the cabin, I didn't want to make something too big, because I think a kind of a cabin in a mountain, you kind of imagine this sort of cozy little small cabin, but I also didn't want to make it so small that I couldn't fit a lot of stuff in there. So yeah, I kind of went for this sort of 2-story. It's like a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom little cabin. And I used a lot of the stuff from Seasons to decorate it, because they have a lot of like cool paneling and like stone textures, and which was kind of the look I was going for. I wanted it to be very like rustic. I used a lot of dark browns as well. I had a lot of fun building this house, actually. And in terms of the person that I kind of imagined to live here, I was imagining an elderly sim, perhaps like an elderly man. And in my head, the kind of story that I came up with is perhaps, you know, he's recently lost his wife, sadly, and, you know, he has one daughter, but she's currently at university. She's studying at Brightchester, so he ended up kind of living alone, and, you know, all his life he's loved the outdoors. He's a loner, and he loves the outdoors, and he loves kind of gardening and woodworking and anything he can kind of do out in the open. So it's always been his dream to live quite remotely in the mountains. So he thought, I'm old, you know, my wife has sadly passed, and my daughter's, you know, gone to university, so I'm going to sort of take advantage and move to the mountains. And he probably loves it, you know, like I say, being a loner who loves the outdoors. It's kind of perfect, but the problem is, you know, although he is a loner, he loves his daughter very much. She's very family oriented as a sim, so he doesn't see his daughter very much, which kind of makes him a bit sad. So the only time he really sees her is when she comes up to visit him for Winterfest, which is of course the game's version of Christmas. So I kind of imagine that because he loves his daughter and he misses her a lot, when she does come up to visit, he really makes the most of it. He goes kind of all out with Christmas decorations and presents and like a huge sort of tree and everything, because, you know, he probably wants to kind of relive as well their past, you know, as a little family enjoying the holidays together. So yeah, I thought that was quite a nice but little sad story. He's probably, you know, he's a loner, but he's also a bit lonely without his daughter. So when she does visit, you know, he really sort of goes all out and makes it all nice and homely for her. But then, like, one of the struggles that I definitely had with this terrain manipulation, as I said, it was very new for me. It made the camera jump around a lot as I was sort of moving through the build, and sometimes you try and place items and it would sort of float through the air. So there was definitely a few sort of struggles that I came across, but as I said, I was, you know, sort of super happy with that kind of mountain setting that I was able to achieve. So yeah, I definitely think that this build was a success. And then the other thing I was kind of imagining with the man that would live here is that he's quite old-fashioned. So there's two TVs in this build, but they're both the kind of old-fashioned ones. I think one's the one that came with Eco Lifestyle, and then I think the other one's kind of base game. But there's no computer in the build as well, so I imagine, you know, the kind of person anyway that would live in a cabin in the mountains probably does want to be a bit more remote. And, you know, like I said, he loves the outdoors, so probably he would choose to kind of go on walks through the mountains and do his woodwork and his gardening and stuff. He's not too interested in technology and stuff like that. And I'm just doing the Christmas decorations there. Again, I had so much fun with it. I just used a ton of presents and all the little crackers and stuff. I used the free holiday pack. You could get that one for free, and it has like a lot of cool Winterfest decorations with it. So combined with seasons, it gives it that really sort of festive feel. Again, I wasn't planning a Christmas build, but I don't think I've ever actually made a Christmas build before, so it was definitely fun giving it a go. And then in the kitchen here, I just wanted to kind of reinforce that idea. Like I said, he's quite old-fashioned. He has a lot of sort of old-style decorations. You know, he's probably just a little bit stuck in the past, you know. I did kind of like the sort of brown theme that I used as well. I went for a lot of kind of dark woods, which again I thought kind of suited that cabin in the mountains theme, I guess. And actually I'm using a reshade here. I'm very new to reshade. So there's still a lot that I need to figure out, but I'm using the Delve reshade from Kindle Spice, and I actually really like the look it gives. It's kind of warm. I think I need to play around with the settings, but I just need to figure out how I actually do that, because as I said, I think this is actually the first build I've ever done with a reshade. So I've got a gaming computer, but it's not the best in the world, so it did kind of struggle a little bit whenever I installed that reshade, but I think I just need to do a little bit of experimenting. But I do think it made the colours nice and vibrant. Like I said, I used a lot of those sort of dark browns and a lot of reds and greens for the Christmas decorations as well. So, you know, I thought it made it look that a little bit more sort of warmer and cozier, which was of course the feel that I was going for. And then just doing the guest bedroom here, and I thought it was quite a cute touch to add a few toys. I imagine maybe, you know, they're the kind of toys that she played with when she was younger, and he likes to keep them, and he likes to kind of display them in her bedroom. That's like the spare bedroom that she stays in when she visits. Because as I said, he loves his daughter and he misses her a lot. So yeah, as I said, I had a lot of fun with this build. If you liked it, please give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment with any feedback or suggestions you may have. I do a lot of sort of Sims 4 speed builds, so if this is what you're into, then definitely check out the rest of my videos. But until next time, bye!